Let me start with a simple question. Is rupees 1 lakh a month a good salary? It depends, right? If you are a fresher from a small town, it is a superb salary. But if you are senior manager, say in Mumbai, it is not at a good salary. Therefore, the question's answer depends on the context, depending upon your age, your qualification, your place, and your financial status, etc. And this is the way we human beings respond to a question. This is not the case with just human being. Even large language models also respond to the prompt based on the context. And this is what we discuss in today's episode of Truly AI, the context engineering. I am Dr. C.B. Abraham. Let us consider simple 3 sentences. The first one, I packed an apple in my lunch box. Which apple? Obviously, apple in the lunch box. Another sentence, I just bought the new Apple mobile yesterday. Which apple? Obviously, the mobile. He is the apple of my eye. Which apple? Obviously, referring to the person. Therefore, we have 3 different backgrounds and corresponding to the question, which apple? Obviously, the answers depends upon the context it is used. Similar is the case with the large language model's response. Corresponding to the query, your previous conversation, what is there in the memory of the large language model? What is the document or photograph or any other evidence or things you have provided to LLM, and the system constraints, and all these create a context and correspondingly it gives the answers. Remember, the response of the large language models have the meaning based on the context in which it is referred to, similar to the answers provided to this question, which apple? And that context makes the AI responses valid or not. I have got an image. What do you see in this image? Suppose there is a caption, a person waiting for his daughter in front of a school. Suppose I have got the same image. Suppose the caption changes, a person waiting for his auto. Suppose we have got the same image, another caption, the person waiting for a job interview. Same image, another caption, a person in a busy street waiting for his friend. Remember, images are same, but the captions are different, and correspondingly our responses to that question also will change. This is the case which happens in the case of prompt also. Based on the context we are providing, not the just few words in the prompt, and that is what makes the responses provided by LLMs are good or bad. And this is what the context engineering, making the large language models to respond to your context. I am in the kitchen now. We have got many ingredients like rice, some vegetables, some salt, etc. Let us make something good. Maybe by using all these ingredients, we could be able to make typical rice and some curries. We can have veg pulao also. We could be able to have even some veg biryani. But suppose let us have some constraints or some conditions. Suppose the first condition is it has to be vegetarian. Second, it has to be diabetic friendly. Third, it has to be made available for at least 3 people. 4, suppose it has to be ready by the next 20 minutes. 5th, it should not have too much of salt, and that type of conditions comes. As we know, more conditions means we could be able to have the lesser options. That means the outcome could be able to be predicted. And that is what exactly context engineering does. That means by having more constraints, we could be able to predict the outcome. And this is what the context engineering is. We have conditions so that we could be able to predict what is the response provided by the large language models. This happened last year. I went to a sari shop and asked for a good sari. There was a salesperson. He asked me, for whom? I said, for my wife. He asked, any special occasion? I said, it is my wife's birthday. Then finally, we could be able to select a good sari which my wife liked. This year also, I went to the same shop and the same salesperson was there. He could be able to recognize me. And he said, sari, right? Your wife's birthday. And remember last time we selected a light blue sari, whether she liked it? I said, yes, she liked it. Finally, he helped me in selecting a good sari and which she liked. Remember, same question, different responses. Similar is the case with AI also works. As AI gets more memories based on the previous conversation, it could be able to provide better responses. Longer the memory, better the context, and correspondingly better will be the response provided by LLM or AI. Therefore, context engineering is not just managing the constraint, but based on the previous conversation, previous memory, it could be able to provide a situational response. And this is the major component of the context engineering, taking care of the memory and using that memory in order to get a better response. I am having this remote. Using this remote, I could be able to switch on, switch off, increase the volume, reduce the volume, change the channel, many other functionalities I could be able to do. Of course, a powerful tool. Instead of this, assume this as an AI agent. Using this agent, I could be able to send emails, I could be able to call APIs, I could be able to trigger activities, and I could be able to do many transactions. Many such things could be able to be done. Suppose I don't define the role of my agent, I don't restrict the scope, I don't put the context or the conditions on which this agent could be able to be work. It is quite risky, right? And any action without proper definition will be risky, and that is what we have to remember in the case of working with AI also. This context engineering also involves the defining the role so that the action provided by AI is quite safe and the risk could be able to be avoided. Let us go back to the original question. Is rupees 1 lakh a good salary? By now you know it depends, right? This is the case with AI also. In order to get the good response, we need to provide the good context. As AI is becoming more powerful, it is our responsibility to provide the proper context. Remember, context makes everything. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next video. Until then, truly AI.